Alright, we're going to go ahead and talk about today dealing with a water supply hose to a washing machine that needs to be replaced. And here, if we move around to the back of the washer where the hot and water supplies connect in, you can clearly see that the hot water here in the foreground, the cold water supply is to the rear. The hot water supply hose is highly blistered and it looks like it could burst any minute now. These lines are constantly pressurized as they're connected to the water supply lines, and so clearly this needs to be addressed quickly. This hose needs to be replaced before there's a situation. As a precaution, we're going to go ahead and unplug the washing machine. Alright, just take note, just for reference, you might want to label which hose goes to which. In this case, I've got 3 supplies. 2 hoses actually go to the dryer because the dryer happens to have a steam cycle. So here, the hot water splits off 2 directions. One line goes to the washing machine, one line goes to the dryer, and here is the cold water supply. Now you want to be prepared and have your replacement lines ready. I went ahead and purchased braided lines, which are less prone to bursting. These also come with a 90-degree connector, which enables me to have the washing machine closer to the wall. So you make sure these are ready. These are also indicated with a braiding, red for hot, blue for cold. Also, you might want to have a bucket here to collect any water because these lines are going to be full of water and you want to avoid any kind of spillage. Now, in addition to unplugging the appliance, you're going to go ahead and turn off water at the supply here. And in this case, that's a little valve that I've already pulled forward to turn off the water here to that hot water supply line, to that hose. Here in this case, if you're wondering, these items here are water hammer arresters. These are just simply devices that will prevent vibration in the line with change of pressure for quick pressure change scenarios. But we're not going to worry about that. We just want to make sure that we have the water supply turned off. Sometimes it could be a kind of a twisting mechanism. In this case, I just needed to pull it forward. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and loosen up the threaded connection of the hose where it connects into the back of the washing machine. Got a bucket down below to capture any spillage, as there likely will be some water here in the hose. So we can go ahead and turn it counterclockwise. Channel lock pliers would be ideal. I just happen to have my trusty vice grip pliers, so we're going to go ahead and turn it and loosen up the connection. You might want to have a towel or rag to grab some of the water that flows out of the pipe. You might want to have a rag to capture some of the water that flows out of the hose. And when it's safe enough to hand loosen, go ahead and complete the job. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop this loose end into the bucket, sitting and waiting below. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and dry up any leakage around the hose connection, the back of the washing machine. Now I've got a replacement set of hoses, so I'm going to replace the hot one, then I'm going to go ahead and do the same for the cold water supply.
Alright, so a few items that I encountered as part of this repair is, first of all, this Y valve here. The water supply line is corroded onto the threads. So I went ahead and got a replacement there. Also, of greater consequence is that when you have a dryer that has a steam cycle, such that you have 2 connections that go to the dryer, those should be from the cold water and not from the hot water. The hot water line was what was split, and that was going one to the washing machine and one to the dryer. That was wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Y valve on the cold water side, split that off, one side to the dryer, one side to the washing machine, and the hot water, a single run to the washing machine. Alright, so go ahead and take my pliers and I'm going to loosen up. After turning off the water valve, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up this water connection as well. Ideally, channel lock pliers are best. I think I can do it with these pliers. Now note, there's going to be some water in the line. Make sure you have a bucket or something down below to capture the water leakage. And righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so. There we go. Okay. Alright, and then just, once loosened up, let it go ahead and drain into a bucket or receptacle below. Alright, we got it loosened, wrench loosened, so we're going to go ahead and hand loosen the rest here. There we go. Okay. Alright, so here's a replacement brass Y valve, 3/4 inch. It's got female connection here, it's got the O-ring, and you've got the two male connections where it's going to split off. One supply cold to the washing machine and one to the dryer for its steam cycle. Alright, here's the new braided line. Depending upon what brand you get, the cold water might identify itself by some blue lines here you see in the braiding. It's blue. One for the hot water is red. Basically the same thing, just to identify visually which is for which. The new set also have a 90-degree angle which goes to the wall, and a couple of O-rings that get inserted in each end here for keep it secure and water sealed. Alright, we're going to go ahead and insert the rubber O-rings. Make sure they're inserted fully and flush. Little tabs are there that should keep them in place. And then you've got the other side as well. You'll feel the little tabs will grip the threads as it gets seated firmly within the hose. I'm going to do the same thing with the hot water supply line here. This is how it came packaged. Some tie wraps here holding the O-rings in place. This one with the red markings would be for the hot water side. Now ideally I should get a third hose since there are two supply lines that go to the dryer. So that would have been the preferred method here. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and unravel it and insert the O-rings, one for each end. Okay, the other side as well. Okay. When you hand tighten, you want to make sure you don't cross thread it. Once it's fully hand tightened, tighten it one more cord and turn. Then once you're ready, you want to go ahead and connect the hoses. If you get the right angle style of lines as I have here, the right angle or the angled side goes to the wall connection, and the straight side goes to the back of the washing machine. And make sure you don't cross thread it. Alright, just going to go ahead and hand tighten it and make sure it's all flush, especially if you have the articulating kind of elbow. It's like a ball and socket in there, but you want to make sure it seals flush. Hand tighten it, and then I'll come back and do another quarter turn with a wrench. Okay, that's one of the two cold water supply lines. I'm going to use the existing water supply line on the dryer. Alright, so now with the hoses connected, the two hoses on the Y for the cold water supply, one going to the dryer, the other one will go to the washer, and the one hot water supply will go to the washer as well. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to connect these in here. Okay, blue for cold. I'm going to go ahead and connect that right back. Make sure you don't cross thread it here because the connection on this washer is plastic and the fitting is metal. Going to hand tighten it, and then we're going to do one final quarter turn with the pliers. Do the same for the hot water, and then we're going to leak test it. There we go. Make sure you get a good grip, a proper grip of the threads. Alright, then I'm going to do a quarter turn for each to the right. Okay, next step is to turn on the water supply. In this case, it's pushing both the levers back and then just leak testing the connections. Here in this case, with these valves, forward position is off, backward position is on. So here's the hot water, and these are very stiff. I might have to use a screwdriver here to push it on. All right, you can see here the hot water is on position. This line is pressurized. It comes all the way to this connection here. And you just want to keep an eye on it for any kind of leaks. Even a slow leak is too much. It should be watertight, as this line is always pressurized. I'm going to go ahead and do the same for the cold water. Okay, and then when all is said and done, if you made sure the connections are tight, the water pressure is turned on again, you're comfortable and confident you have no leaks, we'll go ahead and plug the appliance back in again. Carefully push it back up against the wall to its original place, and enjoy doing your laundry. Thanks for watching.